guys, and welcome back to another of my YouTube videos. If you're new here, you're really welcome. My name's Laura, and this video has been really requested by quite a lot of people asking about what to do when they get an interview for universities, especially for medicine. I thought I'd make this video about all the questions that I had and all of the things that I thought about whenever I got an interview. It's quite a big deal, and it's important that you feel confident and comfortable with all the decisions you have to make. So here is a checklist of all the things that I thought about, and I hope that you'll also find useful. So the first thing I want to say is congratulations. It is a really big deal to get an interview for medicine. You should definitely be celebrating and feeling really pleased with how you've done so far. You're into the next stage of getting into medicine. The next thing though that you need to do whenever you get an interview from your medical schools is read the invitation for interview really carefully. Quite often the emails that are sent by medical schools, well, the ones that I was sent anyway, are filled with lots of information that can be quite hard to sift through, especially when you're so excited to have gotten an offer for an interview. It can be really easy to overlook really important information, so I highly recommend reading through the email or the letter that they've given a couple of times. Some important information to look out for is things like the date and potentially time of your interview, or the location of your interview. And some universities, mine anyway, asked you to go on and book through a portal or through their website for specific slots of interviews. This is really important to do early on, as there will be a limited number of times available for you to select from. Obviously, there will still be a place for you to take an interview, however, it may be at a much more inconvenient time for you. Before rushing in to choose which interview slot, do be careful because you may have to travel. I had to travel for 3 of my interviews, and it does take a lot of time and preparation to work out what flights, bus routes, taxis, hire cars, or train journeys you'll have to make use of. You will want to check the flight timetables and any other mode of transport that you might be using. You may also want to check with a family member or a friend that they might want to join you and sort of just give you a bit of confidence and a companion for your interview. It's really nice to have someone with you if you have the opportunity to, as it kind of just relieves some of the pressure and can calm your nerves by knowing that you've got someone that you're familiar with waiting outside for you or just with you on the journey to your interview. After you've checked with people that you might want to bring and also with your transport routes, then make sure to get on to the website or the portal and book your slot for interviews as soon as possible. It can be awkward if you choose a time and do want to change it, so do think about things before rushing in and booking it. However, do not leave it till later on or the next day, as times really do disappear fast. So after you have booked your interview slot, then it is time to start thinking about booking your flights, your train, your transport, or if you need, maybe a hotel for the night. All of these things can add up in cost, so it is worthwhile thinking about this and also thinking about how you might be best getting there. All of these venues and local places can also be snapped up quite quickly by other students, especially if your university is in quite a remote location. There will be another maybe 300 or 400 students wanting to get interviews on similar days to you, so do think about this in advance so that you're not caught out and left with nowhere to stay. It may sound quite self-explanatory, but do give yourself travel time if you are booking a flight to a certain location. There are so many issues that can happen with transport, such as delays or missing them entirely. I know that I had to think about this before booking my sort of times of flights and transport, as I really didn't want to feel any extra pressure or stress on the day of my interview. You may also want to get to the campus slightly early and have a chance to look around the campus or the university buildings themselves. So there are all the sort of things to think about when you receive your invitation to interview and when accepting them. It's really important that you do follow everything that's in the email or the letter that's posted to you. It is really vital that you don't miss out on any information, as it could jeopardize your place for an interview at that university. So once you're all booked and ready for your interviews, you then have to start thinking about preparing for them. I've actually decided to make a full series of videos on how to prepare for interviews, common interview questions, and other things to think about, such as what to wear and what to bring on the day of your interviews. So do go check them down in the description below, as I'll have put links to all of those information and videos. So depending on the time that you've chosen to book your interview for, it might be very early in the morning or it might be quite late in the afternoon. You will have different sort of things that you can do on the day of your interviews, and also sort of things that you might want to think about the night before your interviews. For me personally, the night before my interview, I sort of thought about what I was going to wear, sort of things like important documents to bring, such as ID or any sort of certificates that they might want to take note of. Some universities will send you information about different certificates, achievements, any sort of proof of qualification that they need to see on the day of your interview. So do double check this the night before, as you do not want to get caught out and be pressured on the morning of your interviews. The night before, I was also thinking about different things such as food and drink that I might want to bring or that I will get when I get there. It is worth sort of having an idea and maybe mapping out a couple of locations close to the university that you might stop for coffee or a lunch just before your interview to kind of give you a better idea of what the area is like, but also so that you can sort of sit back, relax, and take a couple of deep breaths before going into your interview. The night before, you may also want to think about rereading some of your personal statement, as it can be a really common question chucked at you throughout the interview stations. But overall, the night before your interview, you do not want to be stressing or panicked. You want to have a good night's sleep, and you also want to be really energized and fueled for the next day. So do think about all of these things in advance and don't be putting too much pressure on yourself. If you would like any more advice on any of the things that I've talked about, drop a comment down below and I would be happy to make a video or answer it for you. Also, go check out my Instagram for more top tips and my Reddit community for more information and to ask more questions. I hope the interviews go really well for you, and if you would like any more information, make sure to check out the rest of my channel and hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all my new content and videos that I'll be releasing. If you found this video useful, please hit that like button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!